How's everybody doing? This is Larry. I'm here at the Darkness on a Saturday at, believe it or not, I am here on a Saturday at 2 in the morning. What have I been doing? That's the question. And, you know, to answer that, I need to go back downstairs because I forgot something. Oh well. So we're gonna walk and talk a little bit, and I'm gonna tell you this video is gonna be a mix of building your haunted house from scratch, and I'm gonna talk about lanyards today. And this is a great idea, okay? You're gonna love this video. Hopefully you watch the whole thing. I'm gonna talk a little bit about what I'm gonna do next year with lanyards. I think it's a great idea. But first and foremost, we're gonna talk about how to build a haunted house from scratch. And to do that, I have to come back downstairs because I left something down here. And I also need to lock this door over here. So I'm gonna do that. And then we're gonna get to some interesting topics. But before we do that, I'm gonna show you part of creating your haunted house from scratch is also about, and I've always felt this, it's about getting natural props. So you see these fuse boxes, there's like a fan over there, there's a sink, because I'm building something industrial. I plan on using all of this, plan on using this, and check out these lockers that I just got. I'm gonna use these lockers as a wall, so I don't have to build a wall, I'm gonna use the lockers. Look how cool they look. And I might open a couple, you know, completely open and shove a dead person inside. Why not? Why not? Okay? But let's go look around. Because right now, this video is in the how to build your haunted house from scratch mode. So I left off the last video talking about all these props that I went out and bought. And I bought a ton, okay? And I mean a ton. And I'm probably gonna have to buy double this. But, and look, I bought an old circular saw, a meat grinder. I mean, I bought all kinds of stuff. That's actually a real cow skull I bought. All kinds of pots, pans, everything. Now, you know what's really interesting? Do you see this prop right here and this old pink stove right here? You know what I'm gonna do with it? You're gonna laugh when I tell you this, but I'll tell you what I'm gonna do with it. You see them lockers over there? So when you walk into the haunted house, the very first thing you're gonna see is them lockers. I don't think they're quite tall enough. So I'm gonna take that stove and I'm gonna take some other big things, possibly that sink right there, and I'm gonna fasten them to the top of this. So when you walk in the room, they'll look like, you know, they're just kind of stacked and stored on there. Now, the other thing I'm going to do, and I have a lot of props, some at Creepy World, some all over the place, and we're just gonna just plow through everything. Now, if you look over here, I bought these as well. So we're gonna use these for a scene. I'll use that blue crate. Dude, I might even use that lobster rack, who knows? I'm gonna just dig through everything I can and use it. I'm gonna put, look at this. Over here, I have 2 car doors. Where do you think they're going? They're going upstairs. That's where they're going. That wheelchair up animation up there, that's gonna go in the new haunt as well. So, but I have a plan now. I have a really good plan. By the way, do you see what all this stuff is? Corn flakes and all kinds of food stuff. We're gonna, you know, mess up the kitchen and make a lot of maggot-infested, rotting food. But let's stay on the topic of building a haunted house from scratch. So let's take a look at this. And let's take a look at this. Okay, hold on. I gotta open up my iPad. And we've got to get to the notes. Okay, so do you see this? I had to walk through the haunted house. Okay, that's highlighted. Let me unhighlight it. So I had to walk through the haunted house. Here's my list of things that we have to do. Things I need to do. And then I made a schedule, what we need to try to accomplish every single day. This includes, you know, stuff that's inside the darkness, like not actually like in the news section. It's a list of things we might need to build. But like, making these lists is very important, okay? Because it keeps everybody on target. It keeps everybody understanding exactly what needs to be done, keeps everybody on the same page. So you absolutely must create lists so that everybody knows what they need to do. And you know what else? You need to know what needs to get done. You also need to be able to figure out how and what to prioritize. And that's important as well. So that's why I'm here on a Saturday, because we're going back to work on Monday. Now, I also think that we probably are going to need to start working 10 hours a day and probably work on Saturday to have a chance really to get this done. So we're just going to have to play it by ear and see, okay? But I think it's possible to finish the carpentry by the end of next week. And then we have 1 week to put all the props up, wire up everything. We have stuff to fix in the darkness. Put lighting in. Is it going to be perfect? No. Is it going to be a Taj Mahal? No. But do I think it's going to be pretty freaking cool when it's all said and done? Yeah. And this is building a haunted house and using your experience to think of what to build, how to build it, knowing what you're up against. And we're talking about time, how much time you have, how many people you have, what's realistic and what's not. Now, let's take a look at this. This is the other thing I worked on here tonight. This is the first room. And this has been kind of a problem for me because I didn't know what the first room should be. So I measured the room out and kind of like, used my eraser multiple times. I made a list of everything that would have to be done. Okay. And, I drew this. This is going to be a CGI door with a fan above it. It's going to go over here. These are going to be 2 tables. We're going to build another collapsing shelf here. The lockers will go here. And then we call this a scare box. Because this is where the claustrophobic maze starts, right in here. So I decided that, you would come into it straight down and then turn and go into it. So you're not going to actually see it because you're going to have to go into a door jamb, into another door jamb. So we're going to extend like a little hallway. That's going to be a scare box. So it'll be 2 door jambs. And it also will cover up all of our lights, all of our switches to turn everything on. So the reason why it's a scare round is because, see, the customers come in here and they'll go this direction, see, like that. So the actor can actually hide in here, chase them through, and then into this hallway, and he goes back in here and he does it all over again. Scare around, okay? And then I've also decided that we're gonna have to close up the entryway just a little bit, and so we're gonna build this mini facade, which is just gonna be 2 wings, freezer slats, a fan in the center. Okay, so that's what I've been doing down here. Now, by the way, these gargoyles right here, this was going to be for another scene I was going to build downstairs. Don't think I'm going to be able to get to it. But I might get to it before Halloween next year. Now, just so we're on the same page, I am doing, and I've said this before in other videos, I'm doing what I'm calling a once in 10-year renovation. You know, the St. Louis Cardinals in St. Louis, you know, they're basically trading away all their salary. They have 2 players next year that'll be free agents, and between the 2 of them, they make $30 million. They're trying to trade away Nolan Arenado, who makes like $30 million. They've already traded away some other guys, not re-signed guys. They're calling it a retool. Okay, I don't call it a retool. I call it a complete rebuild. But what I'm doing, a actual retool. Okay. Because, you know, it's like if the attendance isn't where you want it to be, you know, and I really feel like that you can go in your haunted house and you can change a scene here, and you can go to Transworld. Let's talk about Transworld because that's coming up. You can go to Transworld and you can buy some props, you could change some rooms, you could add an animation here or there. And by the way, I don't believe in like, I'm not like saying anything bad, but let's just take Poison Props, for example. You go to Poison Props and you buy a handful of animations and like, wham, oh, that's your renovation for the year. I can tell you, your customers won't even notice you put those in, okay? They're not gonna notice. What they notice is like when you put like one of those big monsters in from Unit 70. That's not to say the animations for Poison Prop aren't great. I mean, they're great. And there's other animation companies that have similar style animations, and they're all great. But we bought some animations from Poison Props this year that fit like a scene. Like that, the trick-or-treaters that we bought. I mean, it's fantastic. I love this new animation. And they fit perfectly. Now, but the question is, will my customers going through there, and they're going to see that animation, and hopefully it's going to get a lot of scares, will they know it wasn't there the year before? No, they will not. One of my favorite animations I bought last year was that from Poison Props. It was a great animation where, you know, it's like a man, like, you know, and he's a bush. This animation is amazing, okay? I'm just going to tell you, it's absolutely amazing. I love that animation. I would highly advise you buy one. But if you bought one and you put it in your haunted house, would anyone know that that wasn't there the year before? The answer is absolutely not. If you went to the show and you bought a whole bunch of props from Ghost Ride, would your customers notice that that wasn't there from the year before? No, they would not. They would not notice. Now, they're cool to have, and they add to. They're like adding icing to the cake, okay? But who's going to eat icing with a spoon? I mean, you know, you would eat cake without icing before you would eat icing without cake. Does this make sense? So all of these props you can buy from Transworld were absolutely great. And as you can see, I like buying them, okay? I'm addicted to it. I could literally buy myself a fleet of Lamborghinis for all the props that I bought. But no, we're buying props. But here's the point I'm trying to make to you. Your customers don't notice when you, say, heavily invest in a lot of new props. They don't really notice this. What they notice... And you know, I'll tell you another thing they don't notice. If you just change one room here and one over there and one over there, they're not going to notice that either. What they notice is when you do something wholesale change. And let me give you an example. Let's say you have a building, your haunt is in a building. And then in the back of this building, you have an empty lot, let's just say. And you do what Dent Schoolhouse did, and they built a big, giant, haunted midway back there. Or... let's take Dent Schoolhouse again, and on the side of their building, they built a queue line that was interactive, and it looked like a carnival, and they had some a pumpkin wall. Now, I don't even really, to be honest with you, understand why they did that, because I don't know that the added value is there for the amount of effort, but it's an interactive queue line. And I really don't know that I would have done that, because, it's hard to see what people are doing. When you look at it, if they were like just nonstop going through it and it was with actors, you have to remember your actors are also like eyes and ears, they're like security in a way. So I don't know that I would have done that. But the point is that when you go and you see it, you're like, wow, this wasn't here last year. And you know what? It really serves a great purpose is photo ops. People are taking photos all the way through. So if their intent was to create an experience that didn't require any additional actors, and it was to give people the ability to load up on photos, they hit a home run. Their customers are going to notice this was not here last year. Okay? Does this make sense to you? Okay? If you did not have a haunted midway in the back with mini escape rooms and photo ops and little museums and all kinds of other stuff, and you have it this year, your customers are going to know they did not have this last year. So what makes more sense to do? Buy a bunch of random props and filter your haunted house with it, or do something that your customers know was not there the year before. Now, let me explain something to you. At Creepy World, last year, the attendance went up, even though it was kind of overall a down year. I heard all the retail was down. I heard spirits might have been 7 to 10% down. Many haunts that I talked to were down. Okay, Creepy World went up. The darkness went down. Lamp went down. But why did Creepy World go up? Because I think I did at Creepy World what I would call a once in 10-year renovation. And you know what? It took the whole spring, the whole summer, and all of September. We didn't open until the first weekend of October. It was the latest we've ever opened. And let me explain what we did. Okay, we added a horror museum for free where you can just walk through, a photo opportunity museum where you walk through and you can take pictures. We improved the midway with all kinds of new monsters to take photos with. We wholesale replaced the Krampus haunted house and had this facade up and the whole shebang. Okay. These are major changes where you can't say, wow, what was new? So at Creepy World, we really changed it a lot, okay? That new haunt took a long time. We improved a lot of other areas where we thought it was lacking or it needed, like some changes. We changed it. We took out our old zombie paintball and all that was just sitting there empty for a long, long time. And we built this photo opportunity for guests, completely enhanced our midway. We added more stuff to our pumpkin patch, big props, the big pumpkin props from Scare Factory. The attendance went up. Let's just own that. It went up. And people took notice of the changes, and they loved it. We also had some really, really good actors there this year, and they really killed it, and I know that helped the attendance. So the darkness went down. Now, the question is, why did the darkness go down in attendance? We did a big change. We knocked out probably the overall worst section of the darkness because it was just kind of like a dark area. There was nothing in it. We built a cool scene, which, by the way, we made it even cooler this year. We added all those squid things that you push through. But here's the thing. When you walk out of the darkness, and yeah, there's stuff changed, you go into TerraVisions, and here's the thing. People love TerraVisions. There was no complaints about the Clown 3D haunt. But, it's been there for 16 years. It's like, oh, this is the end again. It's like going to see a band and It's the same ending, same light show, fireworks, whatever. Hey, I've seen this 4 other times. So the other thing that really wasn't that different, in my opinion, was the museum section. Okay, and we don't have a secret bar MVP experience, and that's what we're going to talk about here in a second. So we didn't have any of that. So it's like, maybe we need to go another level. We need a secret bar experience. Thanks to my son Riley, he picked out the perfect location for it, and it's actually going to be fantastic. But when you walk out of the darkness, and even though we changed a few things in the darkness, we added a few animations, typical renovations that a normal haunt might do, add some props, add some animatronics, whatever. But when you get to the TerraVisions part, it's going to be wholesale different. Like when people go out on the street, they're going to say, wow, it was totally different. Whereas if you just change 1 or 2 scenes in the darkness, like we've been doing for years, it's like, we put in that doll scene. Was that there here before? I don't know. I think that's the problem with indoor haunts. You got to make wholesale changes. And that's what we've done. We've made a wholesale change. But I'm not going to stop there. I'm going to redo that museum. And I'm going to replace all of these display cases that nobody looks at. And I'm going to replace them with photo ops and big animatronics from Unit 70, where you could press a button, they go off, and you can make a video of yourself at the darkness. I think that's going to be really cool. And to have a VIP experience where you get to stop halfway through and go into a haunted bar and get a drink, and it's almost like taking a break and extending the trip, and we're going to charge $75 for that. So that's like over double. And there'll be like little perks and this and that and the other. This, hopefully, is going to get people talking. Wow, the darkness is like something you have to see, even though it already is. But your town can get tired of seeing the same thing over and over again. So when Transworld comes to St. Louis every year and they see the new changes and everything, they're like extremely excited to see all the changes, because they want to see the new props. They want to see the new animations. They want to see new sets and scenes. Whereas the people in your local town, they're more into the experience. And I'm going to tell you the secret to having successful escape rooms. I think, and I tell this to my clients all the time if they want to build escape rooms, hey, buy 3, but start with 2, and announce the 3rd one is on the way 6 months later. But build the 4th one 6 months later, 8 months, 12 months later, 6 months, 8 months, 12 months later, add a 5th one, 6 months, 8 months, 12 months, whatever, And so don't just open with all of them. Give yourself some room to grow and learn what your customers like and what they don't like. So we opened the Haunted Mansion last year, and even though it really is our #1 escape room, and we have changed it even again. We've added more scary animations to it because we found that the customers love the fact that they go in there and they play an escape room and they get scared. We just added another animation from Poison Props, and people were screaming in there today. We also went into our cellar and we added another animation in there, and we added another animation in Dracula, and it enhances the experience. But if you want to keep people talking about your escape room facility, you don't just add an animation or two, you add a whole new room. So even though we did the Haunted Mansion, it's still similar to the Haunted Hotel. It didn't give me quite the bump I was looking for, even though that room jumped to #1. When we did the Jurassic, okay, even though the Jurassic's recently dropped off some, but the Jurassic gave me a huge bump to the whole facility. I'm expecting that this alien escape room is going to give me a huge bump because people are super stoked about it, super excited. And even though it's going to be kind of scary, it's a complete 180 from any of the other themes. So even though the theme is still kind of scary, But it's outer space, it's sci-fi, so it's totally different. So pretty much that's how I see it. So our escape room, when the alien goes in, that's when it gets interesting for us, because we have no more room to add another escape room. That's where we've got to figure out how to make this new haunt into an escape room, or I need to swap one out. And right now, it would be the Frankenstein. That would be the next one swapped out. And so we're already thinking, what escape room could we replace Frankenstein with? And you know, we're thinking maybe we'll do like 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. You know, we talked about it being a Las Vegas theme. We talked about some other themes. But then you get back to like, let's just get Alien done. And what I like to do with escape rooms, I like to get like Alien done and then take a deep breath. Give myself a chance to recover. Because we have to go from here to Creepy World. Now that thing is just deadly loud. Let's get away from that thing. And look at all these props again. There's so many. Now we're going to talk about these lanyards. But before we do, I want to remind you that we're doing a haunted house tour, and I want to remind you how this is all going down. We're going to have a behind the scenes tour that will include the limp, but that one's optional. And let me explain why it's optional. Because you would have to, like if you're Ubering, you would have to Uber over there and then Uber over here. So it might not be worth it, you know? So if you want to skip that one, and by the way, it'll start when the transfer show is still technically going on. But if you want to skip that one, then you would just come to St. Louis Escape at 5:30, okay? That's what you would do. You come to St. Louis Escape at 5:30, okay? Does that make sense to everybody? Come here to the darkness at 5:30. If you want to go to the limp, be there at 4:30. You will have to fly through it because the St. Louis Escape one starts at 5:30 to 6:30. It can't be extended because we have escape rooms that are booked. Hopefully this makes sense to you. Okay, so the behind the scenes tour, even if you skip the limp, it's fine with me if you skip the limp. But you come here to St. Louis Escape, you'll be able to walk through all of our escape rooms, take pictures, photos. I will have my entire escape room staff here to answer any questions you might have, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, and then once that part of the tour is over, you'll come and you'll go through the entire new darkness. Now I want to say that my favorite tour that we do, and the one that I think is the most valuable, is the darkness behind the scenes tour. Because we put so much effort into this tour to do new things, create new things. And if you've been watching these videos and you're still probably looking at this and you're going, man, you are a mile and then some away from getting this done. How is it going to be possible? Well, it's going to get possible because we're going to make it, we're going to will it to be done one way or another. It will be done. But I can tell you that seeing it in person and then watching all these videos, you kind of sort of like, it all clicks together. So the behind the scenes tour to me is the best one. And I'm not trying to knock seminars, okay? I'm not a big fan of them. I don't go to them, to be honest with you. I've never paid for one. I've never sat in on one. I mean, the only seminars I ever sat in on was I went to a sponsorship show and I sat in on some seminars. Otherwise, I don't think I've ever done any seminars. To me, it's too boring. It's like, you know, like you have ADD or something, you're impatient. I can't sit there and listen to somebody talk. I just can't. Okay, I'd have to get up and move around. You know, I went to Florida thinking, oh, you know, I'm going to go down there and buy a house and live on the beach and maybe sell my building and retire. I went down there for a week to test it out. I was so bored. I just realized, it's like I need to work till, I don't know, like if I could ever retire, because my brain just doesn't think or work any other way. But I need to do more traveling. I need to spend more time, with family and friends and just not work all the time. That's why I'm doing this renovation to the darkness, because once I get it done, and I'm just going to stay on it until it's done, I'm not doing anything to the darkness for a long time. So would that mean I'm not going to do a haunt tour for the darkness? Well, no, I will, because you know why? Because I'm not going to get everything done between now and then. I am trying to make this a very incredible photogenic experience for the haunt, for our customers. So like they have lots of things to take pictures of, photos of, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So we have to continue the renovation until it's done. But I don't plan on doing anything. And I mean nothing. And my plans for Creepy World 2025 is nothing. I don't plan on changing anything. I'm going to leave it exactly the way it is and run it again. So I am sticking all the money into the darkness and some into LEMP. And I'm hoping that this will turn the darkness in a upward direction as far as attendance. Does this make sense? And how am I going to do that? I'm going to do that with VIP experiences. I'm going to do that with a whole new haunted house, with new photo op experiences in the museum, a bigger gift store, because that gift store, when you really think about it, was kind of cramped. And now it's going to be nice and roomy and people can move around in it. So this is how I'm going to do it. Okay? And we'll see what happens. But anyway, back to our haunt tour. On Friday, the darkness will be open with live actors. Parking is going to be a little difficult, but you can park anywhere in the Soulard area, I can tell you that. So you'll just have to park wherever, or just take an Uber over, or whatever you want. But there's street parking and so on and so forth. So Friday, and it's limited to the first, I think we have it set for 700. We don't want to do more than that because we want to put them at a certain pace. And, if I wanted to stay here till 10 or 11 or 12, okay, then I would, say open the door wide open and do that. But I'm not doing that. So I just don't want to. So when it sells out, it sells out. And then on Saturday, it's going to be the LEMP. Now, for those people who went to the LEMP last year and want to know if it's different, yeah, it's different because we actually renovated the LEMP after Transworld. So we actually went from Transworld, renovating the darkness, we went straight over to LEMP, and we started like adding new stuff to the LEMP. We've also bought some new props, and we're putting them over the LEMP. Anything also that's left over here, we're going over to the LEMP and installing it there as well. So our plan to get this done is over the next 2 weeks, try to get as much done as possible, and then spend 1 week after Valentine's trying to tidy up all the loose ends, and then we're going to go to LEMP and try to make sure that is up and running and working and ready to go. So we have a very tight schedule. It's without question, it's a tight schedule. So anyway, bottom line, it's real simple. Go to darkness.fearticket.com. If you want the haunt tour details, go to haunttours.com. And there you go. And get your tickets. Now, I will tell you, if you're interested to know how many tickets we've sold so far, it's been the biggest opening we've ever had. So I would say the behind-the-scenes tour is the one that's... I would say that one is probably already 50% sold out in 2 days. So that one sells out before we can even get to Transworld. The live tickets for the haunts like Darkness and LEMP, a lot of those get sold the week of, but we are going to raise the price the last week of February. So make sure you get your tickets now, darkness.fearticket.com. So with all that being said, let's walk around through this haunted house. I want to talk about one more thing, which is these VIP experiences. I'm going to kind of explain that. I'm going to show it to you. And then I want you to run over to darkness.fearticket.com and get your tickets. And I'm going to tell you why. Number one, we're going to try to produce the best show possible. Now, we had a meeting here today with the people who are coordinating getting all the actors. We walked through the entire haunt. We walked through here. We figured out how many actors we need in here. We did all that today. So But one of the things that just bother me, and I've addressed this before, and I'm going to address it again. Haunt tours don't make money, okay? They don't make money, and I once made a video just about do haunt tours make money, and I forgot to ever upload it. I don't even know where it is. So maybe I'll make another video, but they don't make money. They don't make money. So if we do $100,000 with the haunt community on this tour, it would probably pay for, I don't even know, 1/4, 1/5 of what we're spending. Having these haunt tours have been a serious curse for me, because because you like to win at everything. And it's not that I think I have the best haunted house in the world, but that's what you're striving for. And if you're not striving for that, what are you doing? Okay? You want to be the absolute best that you possibly can. So the pressure of doing the tour drives the price of the tour through the roof. And I can tell you, it's really through the roof this year, for sure. So I don't know exactly what we've spent, but my guess is 80. I think we've bought about $200,000 in props and materials. Okay, we bought a lot of vacuum foam and a lot of other stuff, a lot of materials. We're probably into this for like $220 in materials. Getting that alien escape, like, that alien escape has just sat there for 6 months and we never touched it. It was like, I don't know if we'll ever get it done. But as Transworld got closer, we put all the pressure on trying to get it done. And we literally worked on it for 2-3 weeks so that it could be painted. And now we've been working on it for another month, just trying to get all the lighting stuff done. And then hopefully in the next 2 weeks, all the puzzles will go in. So that became a big priority for me. And I don't even know how much I've spent on that since I started back on it. But my guess is $120,000 there. And then you got to factor in labor and everything else. So my guess is I've spent somewhere between $400,000 and $500,000 on this. And the only rationale that I could use to even begin to explain how to pay for it is, I just said, well, Halloween's over. So let's take Krampus, let's take Valentine's, let's go ahead and do halfway to Halloween, even though we've never done it before. Let's do the Transworld tour, because I'll be honest with you, I wasn't going to do it. I know that people think I do it, whatever, but I wasn't going to do it. I wasn't going to do it. I was actually at a point where I was like, no, you know what? Let's just leave TerraVisions for another year. I said I was going to take it out last year. Said I was going to take it out the year before. So I just decided, the hell with it. We'll take it out and we'll do it. And we pulled the trigger on it, and now it's too late. But so I was thinking in the back of my mind anyway, that so we'll put the Krampus money, the Valentine's money, the Transworld money, opening for halfway Halloween money. And so maybe let's just say that comes up to like half of all this renovation, half. Plus I sold TerraVisions and got back, I think, we really don't need to get into that, but if I throw that into it as well, I don't know, out of pocket, the whole thing, let's just say it cost me $150,000. That's within reason, okay, of spending a renovation on your haunt. I know most people don't spend anything close to $150,000, but it's within a reasonable range. So that's how I rationalize it in my head of doing this. As crazy as it sounds. But let's get over there and let's check out these MVP things and let's talk about that. And let's look at this haunt real quick. So I have totally figured out how to do this room now. So let me just step back here. You see how wide that is? So we need to bring that in with 2 wings, and we need to cover the whole top. And so I said, to hell with 2 fans in there. Let's put 1 fan in there, and then the whole center will be freezer slats. Now you're gonna come to right here, and then this is where we'll put those lockers. And then this is gonna be the scare around right here. See, because that's how you turn the haunt on and off. So they'll be able to scare them into there and then chase you through here. So then I figure we'll get to here and we'll do another collapsing shelf that you have to walk underneath, and then they'll put you into the room. And then I thought, well, we just gotta be fast. We'll put a table here, and that'll walk you over to there, and there'll be another table there, and you'll walk around, and that'll get you over to here. And this is where you actually go into the, to the claustrophobic tunnel, right here. You walk in right here. And then right here will be the CGI effect with a fan over the top. I think this is realistic. And then I thought it would also be cool if we drop lights down, work lights that I bought downstairs, and lots of cool props. We're gonna put the wheelchair animation from Poison Props up here, and that's what we're gonna do. So now let's go look at some cool stuff. So this again is the claustrophobic maze that needs a whole lot of props and everything hanging down. It needs shredding, it needs everything. Now check this out, you're gonna really like this. Look at this, kabam! That animation from Unit 70. Now the only problem with that animation going there is he's not tall enough for the table we built. We should have built the table after we decided to put the guy here. So I've decided to build like half of a crate to get him off the ground, about 4 more inches, and it'll be just fine. But look at that. Is that terrifying? Right when you walk in the room, you stare right at him. Now we decided we have another animation, which is a shaking half of a dead body. And we're gonna put it right here above the sink, like all of his intestines are just going right into the sink. Like they put him there to drain him out. So that's what we're gonna do. And see, this is what I'm talking about. So we're gonna lift him off the ground. We're gonna build a half crate, just 2 sides. So you can't get to, you won't be able to, so it'll help you swing it around him. Okay? And look at this. It's starting to look pretty amazing. This hallway is probably going to be the very last thing we do. And you come into this room, and we've, I figured this out today. So there's the big chainsaw animation from Unit 70. So here's what I came up with, and I think it's pretty cool. So we're gonna take these whiskey barrels. And originally I was thinking, oh, let's build a, I'm not gonna do that. So we're gonna put a whiskey barrel here, one here, one here, one there. And we're gonna do like what we did at Limp and stack them up into the air. It'll be a wall of whiskey barrels. You'll come, you'll walk around, and there's gonna be hanging dead bodies everywhere, some crates full of dead body parts and everything else. Okay, now what is gonna keep you from that? We're gonna build a hog pen around that and throw a lot of disgusting dead body parts underneath with the pigs, with that animation. And then of course we're gonna put a roof over it. Now tell me that's not gonna be super cool. So I'm already imagining it in my head, okay? A whiskey barrel wall that you walk into that guides you over here. There'll be about 6 or 7 hanging bodies that you push through, a hog pen with a big animatronic. What's better than that? And by the way, this scene is gonna fill out real nice, especially with all the props and everything that I can, put all over the place. Now, then you're gonna walk through here to the meat packing truck. And I'm not gonna walk in, but there'll be crates here, and then there'll be maybe a couple barrels, and you'll walk through it, and there'll be dead bodies hanging there, half small, half dead bodies shaking around. And then here is where you're gonna go into the barrel maze. As you can see, I've placed them in here. And then we're gonna put a laser maze in here as well. You're gonna come around, and by the way, none of these walls are painted. They're essentially just based. They're gonna get rust and everything else on them. Now, you're probably thinking to yourself, there is no way in hell you're gonna get this done. Well, I hired somebody, they're coming on Tuesday, and they're installing this whole scene. This whole scene, I don't even have to worry about it, okay? I just gotta get all this crap out of here, okay? But that's where we're gonna put that animation. We got some really cool props that are gonna go in front of him, and his apron's off at the moment. A boiler over here, cool props in front of it, a human barbecue right here with rotating dead bodies, and that big animation. And then that's when you start your descent up the ramp, through the tunnel, and then this room in here is going to have a lot of lasers and whatever. And it has a scare box. We have to cut it out so the actor can jump through. Okay. So, right now, we've really got 1 week to try to get the rest of this put together, and then to start putting in these mountains and mountains and mountains of props. And these barrels are gonna serve as steer people around stuff, or paint them and rust them, put barrel toppers on them. And then this animation right here is gonna go in there, and we're gonna take half of his length that he can shoot out. We're gonna get rid of half of it because it's just, there's no way. And we're gonna move that wheelchair animation up, and it's gonna be great. Now, when you come to our behind the scenes tour, here's the lanyard you're gonna get. Collector lanyard. And that we have the darkness part, that clips into it. But let's look at this. And I'm gonna talk about this. I think this is more important. So, you see what that says? VIP experience. Lanyard. And you write in a permanent marker what date it's good, and then you punch it so it's voided. Same thing here. You punch it so it's voided. Now, let's talk about this for just a second. And I've ordered these. They're all here. And these are not the only lanyards I got. I also got lanyards for the press, okay? So they will wear a press badge. They're in one of these boxes that's like super sealed up. So what they're going to get is, I'm turning all this off and I'm starting to head to my car. It's Saturday night. I'm hanging out with you instead of, sitting at home watching a movie. So what are people going to get for this VIP experience? That's a good question. They're going to get the secret bar. They're going to get a lanyard. They're going to get an alcoholic beverage if they're 18. If they're not, they're going to get a soda. Okay? But they're going to get access to the secret bar experience. Okay? And that secret bar we have yet to build. We still have to build that. And that's going to have a TV in it, playing like horror clips and promotions for the escape rooms. It's going to, just be like very, 1950-ish. Okay. They're going to get a discount to the retail store on any purchase. They're going to get the ability to go halfway and stop, and really improve the, lengthen the experience. They're also going to get a photo op. We're going to pay somebody at the exit to literally say, oh, hey, you're VIP. Can we take your photos? Would you guys like to line up? We want to take your photos. So they're going to get that. And they're also going to get to jump the line. Meaning like they show up, they go right in. You give them their badges, they go right in. This is going to be the VIP experience. So we plan on charging $75 for this experience to the darkness. We technically can do a VIP experience at Creepy World, but it would not be the same as the darkness. The darkness would be the only one with a secret bar. So I'm starting to think, now we're thinking out loud here, the darkness competing against Creepy World. Creepy World has 7 haunted houses, or it might be 8. I'd have to go through them. It has a hayride. It has all these attractions. It's gigantic. I mean, you know, it takes forever to go through it. And, you know, the darkness doesn't do as good as Creepy World. So what I'm thinking is we need to think more, you know, we need to go after more of these, you know, 21 to 24-year-olds that want to have incredible experiences. You know, in Chicago, they have this thing called Jack's Bar, and all it is alcohol and walk around and take photos everywhere. And so we want to try to bring that more to the darkness. So the darkness isn't going to be less scary. It's actually going to be more scary because the new section is super actor friendly. I made sure of that. It's going to be the most actor friendly section of the whole haunted house. And so in my view, it's going to be scarier than before because the 3D haunt isn't quite as scary, if you get what I'm saying. So I actually think it's going to be fantastic. You're going to have a bigger retail store with a wider variety of stuff. That's why we went to the Halloween party show. It's going to have a secret bar experience. It's going to have outdoor scare zone. That means your actors and icon actors out front. It's going to have photo ops. So let's add this up. Technically, we can say the darkness, we're talking marketing purposes now, is 3 haunted houses because the downstairs is Gothic, the upstairs is a haunted mansion, and then you have the meat packing plant. So I'm actually thinking of rebranding the darkness completely and saying there's 3 haunted houses. And then you have the interactive horror photo op experience. You have the outdoor scare zone. So let me see if I add this up. That's 3, 4, 5. And you have the retail store. And you also have the secret bar. This has become an experience like no other. And so I am hoping, and we shall see, if these lanyards that I bought are going to make an impact with increasing revenue. And by the way, I don't really care if the attendance stays the same or goes up a little. But, you know, let's just say you go out there and you say, hey, there's only going to be X amount of these VIP experiences. You know, if you sell 1,000 VIP experiences, that's 75,000. If you sell 2,000, it's 150. If you sell 3,000, it's $225,000. So what if you said there's only 3,000 VIP experiences available and so many per day? Because, you know, when people buy a VIP experience and they come to your haunt on a weekday, they go, why did I buy this? Because the line was very short. So now we're trying to create value for the VIP experience. So my goal is to raise revenue by $225,000 from offering a legitimate VIP experience. What do you think? Tell me what you think. And I also want to know, is there anybody out there offering this kind of advice for you, the haunted attraction owner? People say things about me. They say I'm divisive, or I'm, you know, I say what's on my mind, or maybe sometimes I say things and I say it in a rude way. I've always been a person, I don't have time to mess around. I just want to get results, okay? And that's the simple fact of it. But you know what? There is nobody in the haunted house industry doing what I'm doing. And really, I'm not doing anything new. I'm not asking for you to join my Patreon and pay me for special privileges or whatever, which, by the way, maybe I will do that because it could help fund me to go out and do even more stuff. I don't know. Maybe I will. I don't know. But I haven't done it. I haven't asked for donations. I've just been offering up the information. You know, and when you think about what you spend to go to seminars or special tours and things like that, all you really got to do is buy a ticket to the Darkness behind the scenes tour, and we'll take care of the rest. And we'll hopefully give you something new to experience and see. I want to say this too, and I want to say this like loud and clear. Over the last 2 years, or however long it's been since we've been doing this Hauntworld channel, there's been numerous haunted houses allow me come to their place, film, talk to me, show me right to the front of the door, and so on and so forth. And I appreciate that, okay? And you would ask, why, if you do a haunt tour, why wouldn't you like extend the same courtesy right back to people and let them into your private event and so on and so forth, or let them into your haunt without charging them for a ticket or whatever. And I just want to say this, because this is where a lot of people say, oh no, he only does it for the money. It's all he cares about. They don't care about anything else. It's all not true. Let me explain something. When you're doing a haunt tour, and I would say if you were doing a haunt tour and I said, hey, can I come to your haunt tour because I want to put it on the Hauntworld channel and help educate the haunted house industry? Yeah, I would expect, like, give me a free ticket and let me like film it and interview you, because I want to shine the industry spotlight on you, okay? But getting back to, why don't you just let every Tom, Dick, and Harry come for free? Well, you know, here's the thing. You know, a lot of people in the haunt industry, this is a special event. And whenever I do these behind the scene tours, what I'm actually trying to do, okay, is provide the best educational experience at Transworld for the people who want it or need it. Does this make sense? We only have so much room. If some haunted house owner, especially like probably one that I knew, or especially like, let's just take like Field of Screams, for example. Man, I made the best video with those guys, and they shared all this information. It was fantastic. Showed me around their whole place. If he showed up in July and he said, Larry, guess what? I'm here with my daughter at a volleyball tournament. You want to get dinner, and you know, love to see your haunt. Would I like have dinner with them and walk them through the haunted house? Absolutely, 110,000%, okay? It's not even a question. If they showed up at my haunted house in October and they just said, hey, Larry, no, we'll buy tickets, it's no big deal, okay? And some people do that, and they buy tickets and everything, and, you know, and I kind of feel bad, okay? But if I catch them, I'm like, no, come on in, let's go, okay? So that's how I feel about it. But at Transworld, this is a special event, and I can't be giving a bunch of people like free tickets and then letting them right in the door, and it just makes everyone else upset. If I was doing a special event and it was, say, like Krampus, and they showed up, yeah, I would take them right to the front door and let them in. But everybody that buys a ticket in the haunt industry, they feel like, hey, I want to feel like an MVP. I want to feel like a, you know, like a VIP. Okay, and so that's why we don't do it. We don't allow like a million people who call me and say, hey, we'd love to come see the haunt. Well, guess what? We're running a haunt tour. I mean, dude, will you be here on Sunday? You know, will you be here on Monday? I'd be happy to meet you over here. But right now, I have to take care of and make my full attention the haunted house industry, who is here and they've paid, and I gotta make sure that we deliver. And that's what my focus is. It's the people that want to come and experience this and that feel like this will help and benefit them running their haunt. For some people, they don't need it. It's fine, you know, it's fine. But I'm not some Ebenezer Scrooge or anything like that. This haunt tour has allowed us, when we charge, it has allowed us to spend way more money, way more effort than we would spend otherwise. And I just want to say one other thing, that I have not been able to take any mini golf jobs, any laser tag jobs, because I've been doing this. Okay, so when I really start thinking about how much money it really cost me, it's much more, because we've used everybody on our team. I wanted to build mini golfs and laser tags. We had some people lined up to come in town to help, and they bailed, and it is what it is. So we had to do it ourselves. It's fine, you know, but yeah, I couldn't take some mini golf and laser tag jobs. Anyway, I'm not trying to get you to feel sorry for me. I'm just telling you the realities of it. So we do appreciate you buying the tickets. It really does go to help us to go the extra mile for you. And we feel like we have really helped the haunted house industry. We've helped because we've gotten vendors to make new props, custom props they weren't thinking about making otherwise. We feel like we've helped vendors by showcasing the cool props. We feel like we've helped haunters to show them like new possibilities, new options, new features, going overboard to try to do new things. And I think this new haunt that we're building up here, when it's all done, it's actually going to be really cool. And it's going to be a really good foundation to maybe build on in the future. So with that being said, I wanted to thank you for watching this video. It's time for me to get into the green beast and drive home. And I'm going to tell you a secret. A couple weeks ago, I wanted to know how fast I could get back home. And I would say that normally it's like a 35 minute drive-ish. And I made it in like 20. I like driving fast, I'm not going to lie. The fastest I've ever had this car was 170. And you know what? If I could get it to go to 200, I would. Now, I don't normally drive that fast. And when I went home, I did not drive that fast. But I mean, I was driving, 90 the whole way. No traffic. Got home in a blitz. So that's one of the beauties of leaving the darkness this late at night, because there's no traffic. So with that being said, you guys take care. And we'll see you here at the Darkness. Get your tickets at darkness.fearticket.com, and we'll see you soon.